Write your sad times in sand. Write your good times in stone.
We've all heard it that modern dating is low quality and degenerate. What does it truly look like for young people? Now I speak from experience when I say that love and romance is not easy on its own. Never mind combining it with modern problems. We easily get lost in the statistics of sexless men and hopeless marriages. Take a deep breath and calm down. There is always a solution, which is commonly time itself. Older generations claimed that dating back then was more authentic because people were always out and about and were communicating with others. They constantly compared themselves to our generation's lack of social skills and activity. I cannot deny or agree to that point fully, because I haven't lived through it. Doubts creep in my mind that it was the communal paradise everybody claims it to have been. They definitely had their own unique dating difficulties. However, humans tend to exaggerate the past by telling nostalgic stories that omit the bad and the ugly. Something I can agree with is the fact that our generation is suffering from an insufficient training in face-to-face communication, body language, and social confidence. It is only logical when you have been barely exposed to it. That is all a consequence of bigger instant pleasure taken in what computers and phones can provide instead of working towards a successful relationship. I could also claim that I went out more than the kids today, even though I was also often glued to my computer. Is it true though? Maybe not. I know and still see young people that do sports and hang out. It would appear that generations try to compare themselves to each other and paint a picture of overall worsening of the world. Do not believe that story. As every individual has his own problems that are partially shaped by society and its innovations, so has the whole generation grown up with unique sets of puzzles to solve. We don't have it more difficult in dating. We just live in different times. Your apocalyptic mindset doesn't help in any way. But back to dating in our time. Let's at least say that men and women are today on a similar level of weak social ability. That unfortunately doesn't put us at an even plane. Women are still the ones that pick. They are the gatekeepers. Women have always been the harder catch, and now they are at a historical high competence in spheres that they weren't allowed in before. Jobs, education. Men only degrade. I was afraid for a long time of women. I got resentful. I don't know if my struggles were to be attributed to my immigrant status in Germany, but that was my conclusion at the time. Then I concentrated on myself. I learned, I trained. Yet, I was still missing something. I couldn't completely exclude the female aspect from my life. I started enriching my knowledge about the many different facets of life, including social intelligence. To my surprise, nothing quite came out of it. Why? Because no one could see me all that much. After school, I was at home. How could have anybody known that I had become better, when rarely anybody had the chance to glance at or talk to me? What is the solution? Go outside. You are a male. I don't care if it's hard. And in case you're wondering if I get more attention when I'm outside, the answer is yes. All energy that has been put into improvement has been worth it. Although I'm still trying to work on my social skills in real life, because only reading a book hardly ever helps. If men develop social competence by going outside and interact with people and pair it with physical health, intelligence and utility to society, they'll find easier time in dating. All of a sudden, you rise to a very high level of a desirable male. On the female side, there is an inflation in mate choice. They are like a child standing before a buffet, Without these dating apps and internet options, why date the guy in the local area when you could fantasize about dating a K-pop star, or you could swipe on Tinder until you get the best match? Nevertheless, like the child, they get confused by the abundance and end up doing it to satisfy their egos, just looking and getting attention. That is a dangerous action because they are, firstly, not sure now who they like. Secondly, they get lost in a what if I miss this guy scenario. And thirdly, women start comparing appearances of extremely attractive people online that have chosen their best photos and moments to display with the guy in reality who doesn't seem as charming. Oh, a big fantasy. Sadly, women like and try to live in them. The devil is tempting their desires. Ultimately, it neither helps the women nor the men. Women must also realize that they shouldn't let themselves go. They must also work on rationality and differentiating between deception and actuality. It is crucial to not get lost in the haze. What to do then, in summary? Men must work on themselves and be actively present to the world in a meaningful way. The world will reward your utility and influence. For women, it is apparent to me that they should heavily restrain their access to dating apps and try to be realists. We are not living in a fantasy, and they could end up alone in their own one if they don't contain that lust for something more. Thank you for watching.